In our last video, we have seen some of the UI annotations, and we have created this Fiori list report and object page application using annotations. So we have added here search bar and some filters as well. We have seen how to add F for help with pop-up, as well as how to convert that pop-up to a drop-down with multi-select option, and a couple of other annotations as well. So now from this video and onwards, coming future videos, we will be working on the object page for this application, and when we click on this is what the object page currently looks like, which is a blank, and we will be adding some more information, some detailed information about the selected flight from our list here. So for American Airlines, we will be showing some information on the header part, and then we also be using some facet here, and we will also be adding some tabular data on the bottom, which will show all the airline flights. And then we will also add some analytics in the below table. Analytics said we will be adding some graphs on inside the table, different kind of graphs basically, to show the details, some more meaningful information to the user. Okay, so this is what we are going to do in this video and coming videos. So let's get started. So very first thing what we will be doing is, when a user click on this one of the line, then we will show some details onto the header section. So how that can be done is, so this is our CDS view, which already has some UI header information, which is connections and a type name connection, which is getting displayed at this location here. Okay, so let's add some more annotation here to show the header information. So the another property which we can use here is title, and title is having type, which is a standard one, default value, and then what value you want to show in the header. So I want to show the airline name text, okay, and in which field the airline name is coming, in this field. So I will copy this and put it here and activate. It got activated, and refresh. So I am selecting airline, American Airline, and this one, click OK and click on American Airline. So we got the American Airline text here onto the header. Now my next requirement is, I want to show the carrier ID as well here, just below this. So how that can be done is, we have another annotation to be added here, which is description, and inside description again type standard, and again the value. So what value we want? We want the value to be shown as carrier ID. Okay, activate it, and check the output, refresh. So we got the American airline and the carrier ID here onto the header. Now the next thing what we are going to do is we will be adding some facet, and that will be showing some more information from the previous page here. Okay, so it will be showing like tabs will be here. So one tab will be showing some information in the groups, and another tab will be showing some tabular format data here. Okay, so first let's start with the first tab, which will show some groups here with some more details about the American Airlines. So for that we will be adding some more annotations on the top. So the next UI annotation is facet annotation. So UI dot facet, and since this can have multiple groups available, that's why it is having an array. It can contain multiple groups with the different information. So very first group is for the group. Let's give some more information or set some of the properties. So very first property is identification, which is ID property. We will be giving some ID to this, say ID information, and now the next property is type. So you need to delimit it with comma. So type is basically tells what kind of facet is this. Will this contain a single group or it may contain a multiple group? Okay, so here we will be having multiple groups, so we will be using collection type. Okay, and then the next property will be what is the label. Like we have here, these are the different tabs, right? If you open another object, then a new tab will be there. So what is the text on this tab in the object page? So there is a property called label, and the label will show the text as connection. Okay, and then on which position you want to show this specific tab. So again the position will start from 10, 20, 30, 40. So we will be giving a position 10 here. Okay, so that's it, and we will be seeing a tab getting created. Let's activate it. It got activated, and refresh. Okay, so without any information the tab will not be displayed, looks like. So let's add some more information for this facet and the collection. So very first thing what we want to add is we need to show some of the fields, like let's add the airline name again. You can add any of the column, but for now let's add the airline name. So to show the airline name onto the object page, the simplest UI annotation is UI dot identification annotation. So whatever column you will be adding inside this will be by default available onto your object page. So on what position you want to show, on 10th position, and then let's add one more column here which is like, let's see what are all available. Dot let's take currency code as currency, and again add it with @UI dot identification and position as 20. Okay, so now to place these identification fields onto a specific group, you need to add some more annotations in the facet itself. So for that we want to add another annotation here inside the array, which is let's start first the curly bracket, and the very first property is same as id. Give it id as connection, and then type would be your whatever we are defining into identification annotation, we are referring to those fields inside this facet group. So the type would be identification reference. So whatever fields we have defined under the identification will be displayed inside this group. Okay, so now our next thing is, what is the label for this? We will be showing airline information. Okay, and then where this group will be added to, so for that parent id, and for this group our parent is this collection facet. Okay, so copy this id and put it here. Now the next property is your position, on which position you want to show this group. We want to show this group onto the first position here. Okay, and all of our details are now available. Now let's activate it. And refresh. Okay, so now we are seeing some details here, which is showing the airline information, and we were having two fields, which is airline currency and American airline, which we have defined inside the facet with the identification. So we have these two fields with the identification, and these are the two getting displayed over there. Okay, now we want to add another group which will be displayed just like airline information. So let's do one thing, let's minimize this, and if you see here, this airline information group having two information, one is airline name and airline currency. Now what I want is, I want to add another group over here which will show me a different details. So if you change the size or if you resize it, this information will not be merged with this airline information. So this will be a separate group, and this new one will be a separate group. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see how that can be done. So now we need to add another type of annotation here inside the collection, and which will be a filled group reference. Okay, so again let's put the very first property, which is your id, and the ID would be, you can give any ID like ID contact information. Okay, and then what would be your type for this group? So the type would be type, and the type would be your you are creating a new group basically, so you will be using a field group reference. You are grouping some fields, right? So field group reference is there, and then what would be the label? What label it should show? So we will be showing the contact information label, just like the airline information. The second one will be showing the contact information here. Okay, now one thing is where this group will be displayed, so inside our this collection. So again, let's copy this and put the parent ID property. So parent ID would be your ID information. Okay, now the next property which we need to set is a target qualifier. So what target qualifier is, for example, there can be multiple groups, right? Field group reference, there can be multiple. So for which group you are specifying these details. So for that unique identification, we provide this target qualifier here. So let's give an ID to it. It will be TQ and contact information, and on which position again you want to display? We want to display onto the first position. So this is a different group which is on 10th position, and then this is another group which is again on the 10th position. So here as well we can have multiple information displayed. Okay, so this was the annotation for adding another group. Now what information you want to add inside this group? Okay, so for that we need to add a specific annotation. So let's first identify which field we want to use there. So we have carrier ID, currency, and these are all the line items. Let's see what we have here in the carrier. So underscore carrier dot carrier name is there, named. Let's display the URL. Okay, so as web URL. Now just like we have added the UI identification annotation here to show onto the first block, for group we need to add a different annotation, which is again a UI annotation, because we are displaying onto the UI, which is field group annotation. Okay, and the very first property is qualifier. So what qualifier we have given here is target qualifier is contact information. So copy this and put it onto the qualifier, and then on what position you want to show this information, onto the 10th position. Again the first position is here, and then since this is a URL, so we will be setting the URL as web URL. So this field will be displayed there. Okay, now let's activate. it got activated, and let's refresh. Okay, so now we are seeing here a new group getting added with the URL information, which is americanairlines.com. okay, so this key or this URL is not active, means there is no link over here. So let's quickly add one annotation here which will make it looks like a web URL. So type is URL, what is there with URL. Okay, and now activate and check, refresh. Okay, so now it become a hyperlink, and if you click on this, the website of American Airline will be displayed. So that's all for now in this video, and in the next video we will be adding new tab over here, and we will be displaying a tabular format with more information about the American Airlines. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.